Welcome to our tailgate. Get on the tailgate. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about being successful. Let's talk about getting the in the tank. This is part 2 of our 3-part series. In our last program, and if you haven't listened to that podcast, I'd invite you to go back because it was there we talked about the 3 quadrants. We talked about quadrant 1, about your customers that have used an add-in product in the past and have had success, and now really your role is to make sure we're doing the same thing again. We're repeating that success. Today we're going to talk in part 2 about the customers who you're currently working with who haven't used an add-in product and need to. Perhaps they're a customer that you quote unquote tried last year and they just said, we'll worry about it another time, or it's too expensive, or I don't know what I'm going to do, and you just didn't get it done. Okay? So we're going to be working on quad 2 here. So pick up your pencil, grab that piece of paper, and be thinking about some of those customers right now you need to go see. Okay? Now, we always have to start each one of our calls with our PMMTs. And you think about an Ascend Pro type product or a Toggle type product or any other add-in that's important. We got to start with, what does those products prevent? What can they help minimize? What can they do to maximize things on the farm? And what are they going to be able to take advantage of? And I'm going to hope that you've already done that. And if you haven't, you need to really sit down and write those things down and be very, very specific. To be very, very specific. That's where we have to start. Now, we're going to talk about engagement here. So write engagement. Engaging growers is kind of like engaging when we engage the PTO shaft on a piece of equipment. The result is something begins to go on the piece of equipment. Well, we have to engage the PTO shaft, and I mean the mind of our growers. So we're going to give you some engagement statements that you're going to want to really get down in your mind and have them just come out of your mouth so naturally. So here's some engagement statements. Are you ready? Would you be curious to know, John, what I've seen with the products that we've added into some of the tank mixes with guys last year? Would you be curious to know what I've seen? Now just think about that. How many growers are going to say, no, David, I really don't want to know. You know what's going to happen. They're going to be curious to know. Are you ready with your visuals? Are you ready with your site selling sheets? Are you ready with a video clip of what Ascend Pro looks like in a what I would call a plexiglass, where you can see the untreated versus the treated, and you can see it the root growth. You can see the shoot growth, actually just right in front of your eyes. Do you have those things ready to go? Do you have your pictures that you took last year in the fields with growers? Do you have your research trials where you can show guys? That's what that question is going to lead to, you being able to share with guys. Well, here's another what I would call great engagement statement or question. Are you ready? I want to help you make the best decisions for your farm. Would you agree? Well, can I ask you a question, Tom? Well, yeah, David. Now listen to this need payoff question. A circle N. What advantages would you see if I could help you get your corn crop out of the ground faster, at least a day or 2 quicker, and then see more consistent stand and growth stage across the field? Think about the power that a need payoff question gives you. Think about the power of that. Here's another way you could do it. And we're going to use what we call that easy sell. Remember the easy sell? To get, you should, which would, I could. To get, you should, which would, I could. Listen to this. Make it yours. John, to get your crop off to a faster and more uniform start, I really think you should consider using Ascend Pro. It would provide you faster emergence in colder soils and provide you a yield advantage that we saw around 5 or 6 bushel in this area last year. I could add that to your tank mix if you'd like. Boy, the easy sell works. I want you to write the word option down. You know, options is another way to get a grower to consider something. So here we go. You know, a lot of guys have been asking me about what options there might be to increase and protect yield on their farms this year and really ring the bell on those fields. Would you be curious to know what those options are? Oh my golly. 99.9% of the farmers are going to say what? Yes. Well, before I share those options with you, can you visualize a couple fields where you really need to ring the bell this year? When you ask a grower to visualize those farms, now they see where they want to place the product. You've got to use that one. Here's another one. Go ahead and write down the 3 questions. Now, you're going to want to make this yours. But today, here's what I want you to be considering. Here we go. Are you ready? You know, the 3 questions I've been getting most from other farmers like you are, how can I get more potential and really protect and grow the potential of my corn crop right now between now and V5? And really what that means is, how can I get more rows around each cob? Would you be curious an option I have for you? Yes. It is absolutely amazing when you engage the grower in what happens. And it starts with your belief. I hope today, the Quad True 2 customers that you thought about, I hope now that you can begin to understand and see the value of engaging, the value of questioning, the value of having and knowing your PMMTs. It's about getting the add-on, the add-in to the tank. And we're adding in yield. It's never been more important now, fellas and ladies, to get the add-in on the tank. I just love tailgates. Gives me an opportunity to visit with you. And now you have an opportunity to really go out and make a difference with your growers today. Take care. God bless. This has been David Dom, sitting on your tailgate.